Continuing on with the Harvey Keitel box set, we have The Young Americans from 1993. This is something that I'm pretty sure I saw way back when it came out, directed by Danny Cannon, the man who would go on to do Judge Dredd directly after this one, the Sylvester Stallone movie, and I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, which is probably the best of that series in my eyes. In this film, we have Harvey Keitel playing John Harris, a detective who has been sent to liaise with British cops who are tracking a mysterious underworld drug figure. And as he arrives there, it has this feeling of a fish out of water story. We have a character here who doesn't really know the procedures, the landscape, the people, but he is a hardened cop. He is an experienced police officer. He understands the basics of police work, and his advisorial capacity kind of takes a backseat as he slowly starts to jump headlong into this case and grudge against the criminal that they're after.
I hear you haven't spoken to anyone since your arrest. Do you like it here?
That seemed was.
If I were you, I'd get myself an attorney.
A criminal played by Viggo Mortensen, who is absolutely fantastic in this one. He's so effervescent and smiley and encouraging the way he draws young people into his web. There is also a realistic danger to this character. Everything about the smile and the warm capacity that he has for these young people feels as though it's something that's been cultivated to particularly bring them in. But once they're in his grasp, the mood changes and it becomes much more dangerous.
Every city in the world's got a place like this. People like us. I'll tell you one thing. I'm not going back.
So we have our John Harris character just going through this police procedural, and it's wonderful because you get wonderful British actors involved in this one, and it's a really solid tale, directed well with some nice character moments. What I liked about this was some of the small side stories that are throughout this one, where it be John's relationship with his wife. You know, he's estranged from his wife. He talks about his kids. We often see him on the phone. We never see the family. It's just a phone call from John's perspective, and his sudden realisation that family is what he is after. And this seems to be a strong through line throughout the movie from our main character. A young man is drawn into this situation with Keitel. His father is a strong influence in his life. You see the reoccurring aspect of father-like figures throughout it, the way Mortensen draws these young people into his web, giving him or giving them the kind of father-like figure that they crave so much.
I can feel him watching me.
Something's going to happen soon.
Where? You don't care, do you?
Yeah, it has this really nice subtext of male figures within these people's lives, people who have had wayward direction, which I kind of like. And it's that aspect that really kind of hits hard with Keitel as he sees these young people being manipulated by this father-like figure, realising that he's almost left his kids, he's estranged from his wife, he's not really present. And although it's like a small facet of the film, you really feel that subtext throughout it, and it's something that comes across really well. I loved the idea of this American police officer in London, just pottering about doing what he can do. And it's that kind of fish out of water aspect that hits all those trophy marks at the start, but very quickly as he takes on the investigation, he becomes integral to it. It's a solid film with some great performances. There's a young Tandy Newton in this one as well, who is terrific. I loved a lot of the locations that they go on. The score is phenomenal, and one of the highlights of this really kind of solid movie. It's not great, it's just solid, and a good, decent follow-up to Bad Lieutenant, I would say. Yeah, I really enjoyed The Young Americans. Some nice, like I said, ideas within it, and a pretty solid police procedural. Let's dive into the extras and see what's on the disc. Here we are in the disc for The Young Americans. Let's go to the special features. First up, we have a commentary by film critic Bill Shabiri. Then we have The Outsider, an interview with director Danny Cannon, which is 29 minutes 18 seconds. This is a terrific talking head. He goes on about how he came out of film school, how he kind of blagged his way into getting a kind of production deal and going to America and getting the finances and getting the cast. And it talks about all kinds of things. It's wonderful to listen to. Youngblood interview with actor Craig Kelly is 20 minutes 8 seconds. He kind of talks about, getting out of drama school, his first real role, early audition that he managed to nail after a nail-biting various auditions to get the role. How he kind of learned on set and kind of was awed by Harvey Keitel. Next, I have No London I Recognise, interview with the production designer, which is 16 minutes 57 seconds. Again, he talks about being at film school with the director, how the various locations were put together on the film, how things have changed since then. The Lighting American, interview with director of photography. This is 7 minutes 21. He kind of talks a lot about the blue and gold palette that they use, how he came from a film Under Suspicion that kind of brought him to the director's attention. Next, we have The Young Producer, interview with producer Paul Trudbitz, which is 18 minutes 39 seconds, talking about seeing Danny's first student film that he made, how he kind of brought him on with the script and kind of tied things together, how getting Harvey Keitel was a big point in making this movie. And it has the theatrical trailer. That's the extras for The Young Americans. So there we have it. Young Americans, part of this Harvey Keitel box set from Imprint, is out now. I would love to know your thoughts on this film, if you've seen it, whether you love it, hate it, and why. Let me know in the comment box below. As always, there is more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to Patreon, membership program, and manvfilm.com, always in which you can support me. Thanks for watching. See you next time.